Hi, I'm Rayma.
And I'm Andrea.
And this is Mile High Murder. We are just slightly obsessed with true crime. We text each other when new missing persons cases are unfolding. We add each other to Facebook sleuth groups and definitely feel like we have solved the cases before anyone else. We aren't creepy, I promise.
I'm sorry. That was dumb.
It's fine. I'm just gonna laugh.
I'm ready. Sorry. Hi, guys. We're back.
We are here.
Here we are.
In Andrea's living room.
It's so nice. I literally said it's like a little cocoon.
Yeah.
Like just being in our little space.
Yeah.
It's so nice. How are you today?
Good. I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Good.
Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday.
Do you want me to tell you a story?
Well, that's what we're here for, right? So yes, I do.
Okay. This one was, it went on a lot of rabbit trails and it's kind of a bigger case. So
Okay.
settle in. And this is the murder of Nancy Pfister. I know it's so bad.
I'm sorry.
I'm
That's
sorry.
really bad. But
so what
Nancy
intrigued
Pfister.
me is that this was in Aspen, Colorado,
oh,
which is a super ritzy area.
yes.
And fun fact, all of the millionaires in the area actually total about, like, their net worth is $350 billion.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Like currently, right now.
Currently.
Wow.
Yeah. So
That's
that's
a lot of billions.
a lot of billions. There are a lot of rich people there.
Yes.
We don't live there.
No, I do. I do not live there.
And Nancy was part of the very elite. She was considered a socialite, which I don't know, like I guess just because of who you are born,
Into
like
you're
what
born
family you're
into.
born into, I
Yeah.
guess. I don't know.
What year was this?
This was 2014.
Okay. Oh, for some reason you're talking socialite, and I'm thinking this is going to be an older
No.
case. Well, that makes me happy that it's not an older case.
You don't want me to do an 1800s case?
No, not right now. I'm ready for a more recent one.
Okay. I can do that for you. Okay. So all of my information came from Dateline, Westword.com, the New York Times, Aspen Times, and of course, the Wikipedia.
Ooh, Aspen Times. That sounds
I know, it's so fancy.
Yeah.
Nancy Pfister was born on July 4th. Hey-o.
Oh, that's my favorite
I
holiday.
know.
Oh,
I saw that.
She was born on such a good day. I love that day. I like this case.
Okay, good. She was born on July 4th, 1956 to Art and Betty Pfister. And okay, so this is, stop with the laughing.
I'm sorry.
You have to make peace with it now
I'm
because
trying not to
I have to
laugh
say
at that
Pfister a lot.
last name, But sorry, guys. Okay, I'm gonna try and grow
We're
up.
12-year-olds.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, but I was really, you know that I'm kind of a history nerd.
Yeah.
Okay. So there were things about her parents that I thought were super bomb. So I wrote them in here.
Okay.
Because they're really cool. Her mom, Betty, received a Congressional Gold Medal for her service as one of 1,000 women in the Air Force service pilots who flew U.S. military aircraft for the first time in World War II.
Cool. So she was a pilot.
Yes!
That's awesome.
Like super, super cool. Betty was also the founder and first member of the Aspen chapter of the 99s, which is the International Organization of Women Pilots.
She is so cool.
I know. I love her.
I love her mom.
Yeah. And in 1984, she was inducted into the Colorado Aviation Hall of Fame.
Oh,
She's like super cool.
super cool.
And then
I wonder if in Aspen they have like some
Shrine?
museums or
Oh.
something. Yeah, shrine. Or
Yeah,
like some
I
sort
bet they
of
do.
Yeah, since it's not
they have a
huge
lot
place.
of like little places where like big names were I don't know what I'm trying to say. Like people get recognized there. Like there's like a wall of fame or whatever it's called.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool.
It's not a wall. I made that up. But there's something.
A thing.
Maybe a bench. I don't know.
Okay, so like
Maybe
a
people write their names
star-studded, yeah.
in chalk. Honestly, I don't remember. And it doesn't
There's
matter.
some sort of thing that honors the famous.
Bingo. Okay. So then her dad, Art, he was actually a founding partner in the Buttermilk ski area, which is where Snowmass is.
Oh.
So
I didn't
he's
even know it was called that.
Yeah, he had a ranch out there and he turned it into this like famous ski area. So they
Oh my gosh, how
Yeah.
cool. So that's why she's a socialite
Correct.
probably.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
her dad.
and
must
their
have
their
had a
whole
lot of
family
money.
a butt ton. Their whole family is actually still considered Aspen royalty.
Okay.
You all right?
I was going to ask you how much is a butt ton of money, but
You're a 12-year-old.
No, it's actually, it's from an old MTV movie that was about a boy band. It was called
What?
Together. Yeah.
How have I never seen
it's
this?
actually a butt load, but anyways, it's just like
oh my gosh.
I'll show it to you later.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like all about the boy bands.
It made fun of boy bands. It was like a comedy making fun of boy bands, but it was hilarious.
That's fine. I'm about it. Okay.
If you've ever seen it, I will be shocked. Anyone listening to this right now, but
no one else has ever heard of it. Okay, so because of her parents, Nancy was among the elite of the most popular, and she was actually named as a socialite in the 1970s. She dated Jack Nicholson.
Oh,
which he scares the bejesus
I know
out
that
of me.
name.
I know.
Yeah. Oh, he scares you.
Well, hello, The Shining. And
okay. Well,
she was even engaged
it's just
to
a movie.
Yeah, I know. Still, she was engaged to Michael Douglas for a short time.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. And then, this is bananas, she actually watched the French Open in Paris with Roman Polanski, who was married to Sharon Tate, who was murdered by the Manson family.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow, that's random.
Random. And then she flew to Africa with Angelica Houston one time.
Oh, my goodness.
So she did all the things.
She had a 7, like, Enneagram 7
personality
style that we would
lifestyle.
want. Yeah.
Yeah. Sign me up for that. And some even called her Aspen's ambassador to the world.
Oh.
I would be okay with that.
Yeah. What a title.
But the crazy thing about her is that even though she was super connected to the rich and famous, she was known for being approachable and easy to get along with.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Again, she sounds like an Enneagram 7.
She probably was. She was known all over the world as Aspen's Golden Girl. She was a hard drinker, though, lived a pretty lavish lifestyle, and was kind of known for her instability and risk-taking.
Yeah.
That's a 7.
Yeah. Not to, keep saying it, but yeah. If you know anything about the Enneagram, she sounds like a 7.
At the age of 29, she became a mother for the first time to a daughter named Juliana, and still continued to live a lavish lifestyle, but she loved being a mom. So, in 2013, we're skipping to a different part of the story now.
Okay.
So, in 2013, a respected physician named William Styler III had an extensive career in Denver as a physician, but he suffered a leg injury while gardening that led to the decline of his career.
Oh.
So he and his wife moved from Greenwood Village to Aspen to start fresh after becoming nearly destitute.
Oh.
Imagine being this big deal surgeon and having to go live somewhere else because you ain't got no money.
Yeah, that's sad.
In October of that year, Nancy put an ad in the Aspen Times looking for someone to rent her $4 million, 4,000 square foot house while she traveled to Australia for 2 months.
Wow. How much was the rent on that?
$4,000 a month.
Okay.
So Trey and Nancy is Dr. Styler's wife, thought this sounded like a great place to settle down.
Okay.
And apparently a great price point. So they agreed to pay $4,000 a month with a $12,000 deposit. And there was never a formal contract, but it was a verbal agreement.
What? That's the stupidest thing I've
so
ever heard
much
of.
money.
Well, that's so you
with no contract.
People, you need contracts
For that much money, it's bananas.
Yeah, especially when you put $12,000 down.
Yeah. Isn't that insane? They immediately began moving their things in, including thousands of dollars of spa equipment, which they wanted Nancy to invest in a new spa business that they wanted to.
So they were trying to impress her with it.
I guess so. In exchange, she asked, this is so funny, she asked for them to help with a farewell party that she was throwing for herself for her trip to Australia.
It's really funny.
I just was like, okay.
throw this for myself.
Yeah.
I guess that's what socialites
I would
do.
totally throw a party for myself, but I just thought it was funny. She asked them for help.
Throw a party for myself. Let's just for anything possible. I cleaned the house. Let's throw a party. I went to the grocery store. Let's throw a party.
I mean, we did have a Sip Sip Hooray when all the kids went back to school last year.
That's true.
We just had a party because everybody went to school.
Yeah.
So once the Stylers moved in, they were super buddy-buddy. They made friends with her, but quickly, allegedly, Nancy started treating them like servants. According to Nancy Styler, Nancy Pfister would demand that they rub her back or her feet, bring her champagne, and help her pack her suitcases.
Weird.
But
just her stylist said this, though.
The Stylers, Nancy Styler. Not like she's a stylist.
Sorry.
You ding dong. It's the Stylers.
Sorry about that.
Do I need to start over?
No, I don't know why. Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
I
don't know about any stylist.
Not that dumb, guys. I
No,
thought
you're not.
Stylist.
You're like way smarter
Her
than
stylist said
I
that.
am.
Not okay. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Okay.
So Nancy Styler said
Correct.
that.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Really, my point is, how believable is Nancy Styler? Like, can we
Well,
believe
you
her?
tell me.
Yeah.
I'll tell you the story
Okay.
and you tell me. And that's why everything is like, I literally added allegedly to so many things because I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe that's true.
just what they said.
But there's no other witness to
There's
that.
no proof for, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. So they felt used, taken advantage of, and humiliated, but they were just kind of stuck. They drove Nancy Pfister to the airport 2 weeks later, and after she arrived in Australia, she started sending them emails accusing them of charging things to her credit card and saying they had defaulted on their second installment of that $12,000 deposit or whatever.
So she just left her credit card with them, though? Like, she just left her
I
credit
have
card
no
there?
idea. I mean, to be fair, like, I guess it could be like saved, like on the computer or whatever.
Oh, okay. Well,
you
that's
know,
true. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess. No. Yeah.
in
okay.
2014,
Okay.
it wasn't that long ago.
That's true.
Yeah. According to the Stylers,
Not the stylists.
nope, they were living in squalor. This $4 million
In their $4 million home.
correct. They claim that there was
Sorry, I just rolled my eyes too quietly for you
felt
to
it.
hear.
There was rusty water, which makes me want to vomit.
Oh.
The dishwasher didn't work, which wash your own dishes. Get a grip. The stove didn't work. And so that was the reason for withholding the rest of their deposit. Your face is so funny right now.
Because when someone owns a home worth that much money, wouldn't they have like people like on staff, people that fix things? And
I would think so.
so I feel like this can't be true.
Yeah, I don't know. The Stylers gave the rest of the money to Pfister's rep. Her name is Kathy Carpenter, but Nancy Pfister apparently never received that money. Pfister took to Facebook and began telling the Aspen community about how terrible the Stylers were. And she also told everybody, okay, so Trey Styler, the doctor, is actually her Facebook friend. And she announces to the Facebook world that she's looking for new tenants.
Oh,
So that's how they found
without
out.
letting him know.
Yeah. Funnily
that is
enough,
how you use Facebook, though. That's the right way to use Facebook.
obviously. The Stylers and Carpenter bonded over their hatred for Pfister. So, even her personal assistant didn't like her. On February 9th of 2014, Pfister told the Stylers that she was coming home early and told them to get their stuff out by the time she was home or they'd have to foot the bill for a hotel room that cost $900 per night.
Because that's the hotel she stays in. Actually, you know what,
I would.
though? Aspen's expensive to stay
It's
there.
super
so
expensive.
That's not.
It doesn't surprise me.
I mean, it's not like there's Hotel 6 in Aspen. So,
What's a Hotel 6?
Motel 6.
You just created a new one.
Yeah. Hotel 6. It's slightly better than Motel 6.
Cool. Yeah. Awesome.
Slightly.
I'll book my next vacation there.
Yeah.
At this
Gosh,
point,
I sound so dumb tonight.
I love it. You're making me sound really smart.
Sorry, guys. I'm just tired.
Okay.
My 8-month-old still doesn't sleep all the way through the night.
That's rude.
so-
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's fine.
Can I get you some caffeine?
No, I love her, though. I still love her.
She's the best. Okay, moving on. At this point, the Stylers had no money, and Trey was actually wheelchair bound.
Oh.
So, yeah. So that's like pretty difficult.
Like, I'm not sure if I should feel bad for them or not. I'm not sure.
The next few days, the Stylers sold everything they could to try and get out as quickly as possible. It is alleged that Kathy Carpenter told the Stylers that she had never wanted to kill someone more than she wanted to kill Nancy Pfister.
Whoa.
Which is, I mean, people say like, oh, I could kill her or whatever,
Yeah,
but
that's
like,
true.
that's intense.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Stylers moved out of the house to a small motel in Basalt, but went by the house to check on the dog before Nancy got home. And when she returned home, she was ticked. She had Carpenter give the Stylers a note demanding $14,000 in damages to her home and would hold their personal belongings hostage until she was paid. So that made me think maybe they're the ones who broke the stove. Maybe they're the ones who broke the dishwasher.
That actually makes me think that too. But
who knows?
Who knows?
It could be either way. Mm-hmm. Carpenter picked her up from the airport, and she said that she stayed through the weekend with Pfister. But on February 26, 2014, Nancy Pfister was found murdered. When Pfister didn't show up for her job as a tour guide, Kathy Carpenter drove to her house in Buttermilk, Colorado to check on her. Side note, I want to live in a place called Buttermilk. That's adorable.
Well, you could. It's not so far from here, but you probably can't afford it. No offense.
Rude. Accurate, but rude.
Yeah.
She said, so this is Kathy Carpenter, she said Pfister's room was in complete disarray, and as she walked into the room, she saw blood on the bed frame. She walked to the walk-in closet and found that it was locked. She actually had a key for this walk-in closet, but she left it at home, so she decided to run back to her house and grab the key to unlock it.
She didn't call the cops. How far away is her house?
I don't know.
I have so many questions.
So many questions.
I'm pretty sure that's not the first thing
it wasn't
do.
Like
I need to get in
I saw
that door.
crime scene photos, and it's not like it was a ton of blood. It was like,
okay,
like when you accidentally nick your knee or whatever when you're shaving and you rub it on your headboard.
What was her thought of like all over your, what was her thought of like why did she want to get in the closet? Like, did she just,
because it wasn't normal that it was locked and there was no reason for it to be locked. So
well, I just feel like at that point, wouldn't you be like, something's,
I'm gonna
like,
later
maybe I
days
should call the cops?
Well, not yet. So she goes home, gets the key, and unlocks the closet door. And under a pile of blankets, Carpenter knew what she was looking at. Nancy's naked and bound body. Under all the things. Sheets
Weird.
and plastic bags. Okay.
So she looked under all of it or just could tell it was a body?
I'll get there.
Okay.
Okay, because that was asked in the interrogation.
Okay.
So Carpenter jumps into her car immediately and starts driving away and calls 911. And she's totally panicking on the phone. And they're like, ma'am, please pull over. Like, we need to get a statement. Like, stop driving away from the house.
Honestly, I would be running out that door. I would do that. I would be freaking out.
Yeah. Let me put some distance in between us. First responders didn't actually immediately see a body in the closet.
Okay.
Once they pulled back the blankets, they saw that Nancy was tied up with an extension cord, had multiple plastic bags over her head, and a large tear-resistant bag over the rest of her body.
What's a tear-resistant bag? Like a garbage bag?
I mean, a bag that, like, you can't rip.
Like a garbage bag you can't rip?
Like, that you can't tear.
Especially
I don't know.
Besides, okay.
Whatever. That's just what I said.
Well, okay. I just wasn't sure if it's like a
times.
different type of bag than like a tear-resistant garbage bag.
I have no idea.
No idea. Okay.
As they examined the crime scene, they saw the murderer had flipped the mattress to hide a huge blood stain on it. So
weird.
They also noticed a huge gash on her torso where Pfister had been hit with an axe.
Oh, no.
The ME would later determine...
This is bizarre.
It's super bizarre. The ME would later determine that the gashes on her face were from somebody beating her with a hammer.
Oh.
Yeah, it's awful.
An axe and a hammer?
Yeah, overkill.
Yeah.
She had no defensive wounds on her body, so the coroner believes that she had probably been asleep when they attacked, or when someone attacked her. Excuse me. When she was attacked.
Stuff away.
Excuse me.
Okay, wow, that's crazy.
Nancy Pfister's cause of death was determined to be blunt force trauma to the head and exsanguination, which means she bled to death. Had to Google that.
Well, I mean, she was bound, so that could be why she would not have.
But she would have defensive wounds on her. I mean, if she were trying to.
But if she was bound and she was like she couldn't see what they were doing, she wouldn't know where to defend herself. I don't know. I'm not a defensive wound expert.
You're not?
Nope, just a bored housewife over here.
Oh, okay. After investigating the crime scene, investigators determined that they were looking for more than one killer.
Because there were,
obviously.
Yeah.
There's no sign of forced entry.
It's the stylist. I'm just kidding.
The stylist did it. So they determined that the killers must have had a house key. During the 911 call, Carpenter actually tells the dispatcher about Pfister's tenants and that they didn't get along. So immediately she's like, you should look at these guys.
I mean, accurate because it had all just happened.
Accurate, but like, you're not going to say that in a 911 call. You're going to be freaking out that your friend is dead.
You're right. I wouldn't in a 911 call, no.
No. Mm-hmm. Investigators head to...
I actually probably would say not very much in a 911 call.
Oh. Yeah, no.
You know
we know
what I mean?
now.
Yeah. Well, no, I just mean like, I'd be like...
Your brain isn't working enough to
be
like, hey, let me detail everything that I've had for the last... Or everything I've eaten for the last week.
Yeah.
You know, like... Yeah. Anyway. Okay. So investigators head to the motel that the Styler, are staying at. And they claim they have no idea what they're talking about. Detectives question them and actually take them down to the station and into different interrogation rooms at the police station.
Smart.
I said police station too many times. Nancy Styler tells detectives that the tox report will prove that Nancy Pfister committed suicide.
That's a really bizarre way to commit suicide.
Just going to beat the crap out of myself with a hammer.
How do you even...
She also tells investigators that not one person had one nice thing to say about Pfister. I mean, just like, lady.
Yeah, what are you doing? Do you understand what this is about?
No. DNA evidence wouldn't do anything to tie them to the crime because the Stylers were staying in the bedroom that Pfister was murdered in.
Well, dang it.
Yeah. But a random small town law is what would break the case wide open.
Oh, I love random small town laws.
It's really dumb, actually.
This is awesome.
But it works out. So in the town of Basalt, you aren't allowed to discard personal trash like in a public trash can.
What?
Uh-huh. But a garbage man happened to be poking around in a trash can, like checking things out and checking for illegal garbage. He opens a trash bag.
They still monitor that law?
Apparently.
That's
Maybe they don't have anything to do with Basalt.
Yeah, apparently not.
Okay, so he opens a trash bag, and in it he sees a prescription pill bottle with Nancy Pfister's name on it.
Okay.
He called Aspen police because he was like, yo, this lady, like, I've heard about her, you know?
Yeah.
And also, he's like, hey, somebody threw away trash illegally. So he calls...
That's besides the point. What happened with this?
Right. So he calls Aspen police, and when the detectives started sifting through the contents of the bag, they found the hammer they believed to be the murder weapon.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So he finds this pill bottle. Never mind that there's a freaking bloody hammer in there. Yeah.
Well, maybe they cleaned it. And maybe it wasn't bloody and it was like...
Oh, true. They also found the car registration for the Styler's car.
Why is it in the trash can? Weird.
So 3 days later, as they wait for the lab results to come back after they tested the hammer, a key mysteriously shows up outside of the Styler's motel. It was the key to Pfister's closet door.
Okay.
And on the key, there's like one of those little round things where you can like write something on it. And it said owner's closet. Isn't that odd?
Yeah.
So weird. Like how convenient that just happened to be there. Later that day, the DNA results determined that Nancy Styler's DNA was found on the hammer found in the garbage.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, not Nancy Styler, Nancy Pfister.
Okay. Oh, okay. Wait.
Sorry.
Actually, I thought you said Nancy Pfister. That's why I was like, well, yeah.
Oh, no. Sorry. I wrote that down wrong. Or I said it wrong.
Okay.
So Nancy Styler says that it's not possible for the two of them to have killed her and believes that they were framed. The key just magically shows up outside of the motel. I hate when that happens.
Well, I mean, the fact that they had their car...
The registration
which has their name on it, in the same garbage as the murder weapon.
Right.
Like,
I mean,
how does that happen?
It just does. Magic. So they're thinking maybe the person who pointed the finger at them in the 911 call had something to do with it. So the deputy DA goes back to the 911 call to pick it apart. And Carpenter says that it was Nancy Pfister, but the DA says it's impossible to know for sure because Nancy's body was completely covered when she saw it. So she says when she goes into the closet, oh, it's Nancy Pfister. But they ask her, this is what you were asking. Yeah. They ask her like, well, did you pull back the sheet? No, I left it. I didn't want to touch anything. And they're like, well, then how did you know it was her?
Also,
I could just tell.
Who's thinking I shouldn't touch anything at this point?
A murderer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So her body was completely covered. So,
So
there was
they're
no way
basically
for her
like,
to know.
how did you know there was a body there when like the
first responders didn't even
know?
notice. Yeah. Kathy told people that Nancy would be resting for 3 days, when she came home, and Kathy stayed with her. And then lo and behold, 3 days later, she's found dead. Upon being questioned, Kathy told investigators that it was Nancy's hair that she saw, and that's how she knew it was her.
But wasn't she have bags over her head?
Uh-huh.
So this is not adding up.
So according to investigators, none of Nancy's hair could be seen.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's a lying liarson.
A lying liarson.
She also said that, they also said that while Kathy was being interrogated, that she was wailing, but she didn't ever actually cry. She was just hysterically, like, acting like she was crying.
Weird.
You can see it on the Dateline, and it's
good.
It's so irritating. You just want to be like, lady, stop.
I'm a sucker for being able to see these interrogation videos.
Okay, here's another piece of damning evidence. Less than 24 hours after Nancy was murdered, Kathy Carpenter heads to the bank and opens Nancy's safe deposit box, takes out a ring that was a family heirloom, as well as the $6,000 check from the Stylers in Nancy's P.O. box.
What?
As you do.
Yeah.
So
What
obviously the DA starts building a case against the Stylers and the Carpenters. And on March 3rd, Pitkin County deputies arrested 65-year-old Trey Styler and 62-year-old Nancy Styler on suspicion of first-degree murder and other related charges.
Yeah.
I was kind of surprised. I mean, like, I saw pictures of them and they're definitely older, but when they said their ages, I was like, how did they do this?
Because there's 3 of them.
Because there's 3 of them.
Well, also, she just came back from Australia. I wonder if she was like jet lagged and
I'm sure she was.
And
Absolutely.
they just attacked her in the middle of the night, probably, or in the middle of her sleeping.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I just burped. They believe that Trey Styler was pushed to his breaking point financially, and he hated Nancy Pfister enough to lead to murdering her. So less than 2 weeks later, Kathy Carpenter was arrested on first-degree murder charges and conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. Duh. Nancy Styler was released several days later after it was revealed that Trey confessed to the crime on the condition that his wife never had to face any charges connected to the murder.
And they actually let that happen?
She will never be tried for this.
What?
I know.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
I didn't either.
What the heck?
That was in the New York Times, and I was like, sorry, what? Yeah.
What? I'm like in shock.
So Trey alleges that he slipped out of his motel room while Nancy was sleeping, drove to Pfister's house to confront her about their treatment, and then he lost his cool, and he details the gruesome murder of Pfister, saying he beat her with a hammer and an axe. However, if you watch this dude, like in the interview or in the interrogation, he can hardly stand by himself.
That's what
like
I was
he has a walker, he has a wheelchair.
Yeah.
He's trying to move from one chair to the other, and he can't. Like, it's very whatever.
I don't know why would they let him do that? Like, why would they let him take the fall when they know he physically didn't?
Who knows? So this frail handicapped man then says that he wrapped Pfister's body in a bed sheet, multiple plastic bags, and moved her body into the walk-in closet.
He could not have done that
Not
alone.
a chance. Not a chance. He also said he took some of her personal things to make it look like she had just left. So, like, she had prescription pill bottles and, like, her purse or whatever. So he took those.
And then, like, she also had his, car registration. Too,
yeah, it was like car.
Sorry.
Sounds like
words.
Words are hard. Carpenter was actually also released shortly after that, and Trey Styler was sentenced to 20 years in prison for second-degree murder. So he would be 85 when he got out. According to Nancy Styler, so things went south for them. Her husband said he lied in his confession, then later changed his story, admitting to killing Nancy Pfister. So he's like all over the place. She goes on to write a tell-all about the ordeal.
What?
You can buy, I looked on Amazon. It's there for like, I don't know, $11.95, I think. And it's called...
For only $11.95.
It can be yours. Guilt by Matrimony, a memoir of love, madness, and the murder of Nancy Pfister.
Oh my gosh. So she
And-
made money off this.
Yeah, and not only that, she had the stones to put a photo of Nancy Pfister on the cover of her book. Yeah. And obviously, like, all of the town and all of Nancy's family was like, hey, we don't want this to be published, but they weren't able to get it.
Please, no one buy this book.
Oh, it's awful. So then, shortly after, she files for divorce after 32 years of marriage and even calls him a monster on that Dateline episode. Trey Styler hangs himself in his prison cell on August 6, 2015, which led Nancy to collect $1 million from his life insurance policy. Uh-huh.
This is a very bizarre case.
Told you.
There's so much to it.
So then in January...
Good find.
I know. Bonkers. In January of 2016, Pfister's daughter, Juliana, filed a wrongful death suit against Nancy Styler, which was placed on hold when Styler then filed for bankruptcy, which is just not fair. Nancy Styler has like moved on since then. She changed her name to Nancy Masson, I think is how you say it, and now lives in Massachusetts.
Okay. Now we know.
So that is the bizarre murder of Nancy Pfister.
That is so bizarre.
Wasn't it?
Yes.
It took me I literally spent 2 days on this because it takes you in all these crazy places.
Yeah. I have to go watch that Dateline now.
It's really interesting.
It's super interesting.
And the craziest thing is that this was the first murder in 30 years in Aspen. So they're like, we don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Like, this is such a quiet,
Maybe that would be why they let him take that.
Possibly.
Do that deal.
I mean, they certainly don't want that kind of publicity,
Right.
Like, you don't want to be known for killing your socialites.
True. But I don't know. That's just crazy to me that they know that he couldn't have physically done it alone, and then they let
It's just
her
funny. If you
walk.
watch him, he shuffles along. And I'm like, how did you lift, let's say, a 140-pound woman? How?
And complete dead weight.
Complete dead weight.
He could not have done that.
No.
That's
So
crazy.
dumb. But Kathy Carpenter can actually, if they find evidence that she was linked to it, she can be charged, but not his now ex-wife.
Yeah.
That was the deal.
Okay.
So there's a chance.
wonder
And
if
Kathy
they
Carpenter
ever-
gets on there and is like, oh, what was me?
Oh, she's
love
interviewed
Nancy
on
Pfister.
it. I
Yeah.
really hate when they interview someone that did it, and I hate it.
you-
And they're just lying their butts off the whole time.
Yeah.
I hate it. Makes me so mad. I want to punch the TV when that happens.
Should I link that Dateline in the show notes?
Yes,
okay, I'll do that for you
'Cause
and
just for me, basically.
Okay. Okay, for just Rima.
We're Dateline lovers over here, so
We are. Totally.
yeah.
So yeah.
Well, that was a good one.
Thanks.
That was a lot of twists and turns.
I know.
That's crazy.
And now I want to go to Aspen.
So at this point, what was her daughter's name again?
Juliana.
And she still wasn't able to do the wrongful death.
I don't know. I think she filed it, but it was put on hold. And now, you have 3 years to file. So I'm guessing that even though it's on hold,
Okay.
that
Maybe that counts.
Maybe.
It transcends the
I would
3
think
years
so.
or whatever.
I would think so.
Okay.
But I'm guessing that Nancy Styler just blew through the money.
Yeah, but that's crazy.
Yeah.
Maybe she knew too.
She might have, for sure. For sure.
She's going to go after me for wrongful death. So that's just
What
crazy.
about Face?
Yeah. Also, side note,
Okay.
he had to have had help to flip the mattress.
Bingo.
Yeah.
That was the thing that I was like, you didn't do it.
There's no way.
Flipping a mattress is not easy anyway.
No.
When we do it, you're supposed to do it seasonally, which we do. I have to have my husband help me. I know. Congratulations, sue me. Pat myself on the back.
Let's throw a party.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I feel like all 3 of them did it together.
Yeah, I think so too.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm
Anyway.
going to be thinking about this one for a while.
I know.
Thanks for that one.
You got it. Anytime.
Okay. Well,
I hope you guys enjoyed that one.
I mean,
It was one of our longer ones, so apologies.
that's okay.
But it was a cool story. Well, that might not be the right word.
It was interesting.
An interesting story.
That's why
yeah.
we're here. We're here for interesting stories. Thanks
And
for
we want to
listening.
keep those stories, we want to remind people, hey, this was a person who had people who loved them.
Yeah.
And there are monsters out there who suck.
Yeah. And who think they can get away with murder.
And they cannot. Yeah.
Unless the husband takes a deal, apparently.
The rudest.
Well, go follow us on Instagram at Mile High Murder Podcast.
And jump into our Facebook group. It's fun. It's
so fun.
It's where the cool people hang.
Yeah. And if you have a case that you want us to cover, you can email us at milehighmurderpodcast@gmail.com. Or if you're in our Facebook group, there is a link in there and also in our Instagram so you can recommend a case.
Yeah, we love that. But I mean, some of the ones that we've done just recently are because they were recommended.
So keep recommending them.
Yeah, we love it. Have an amazing week, and we will see you back here next week for an all-new Mile High.
Oh, yep. Bye.
Bye.